All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new week of Student of the Gun Radio. I was looking at my show notes and I was looking for the word Monday. I don't see it. You're like, well, of course, don't you know what day it is? Not always. I don't always know what day it is. And holy crap, last week was a total fudge fest. We had Labor Day, right? So that was a holiday. So that was kind of like a Sunday. So that screwed me up. And then the day after Labor Day, we got that snowstorm that just blew in and the wind was just whipping and it was snowing. And I made the conscious decision. I said, okay, I don't need to go anywhere. So fudge it. I'm just going to stay home. So that was kind of like a off day or a snow day or whatever. I'm not going to lie to you. Last Tuesday, I didn't get out of my pajamas. I stayed in my flannel. I broke out my flannel pajamas and my robe, and I was like, all right, we're just going to call this a snow day.
That's the best kind of day.
So, then that went away. And so, like, okay, Wednesdays seemed like Monday.
Yeah, when I got up on Friday and I was doing stuff at the house, and I thought it was Saturday. And then I realized my little calendar thing went off, and I was like, oh, crap. Today's Friday. I need to record radio.
Oh, I do radio. All right. So we're going to talk about the Sturgis Bike Rally. Yes. And the Economists are at it again. When you see this, you might be thinking, but Paul, didn't we already have a story about economists pretending that they were doctors? Well, they're at it again. They're at it again. That makes me wonder, Jared. So can anyone just weigh in as an expert on anything?
I think that the economists are weighing in because it has to do with large events, which are part of the economy.
Yeah. Okay.
But I don't know.
That's like me saying, I have a car.
Yeah, I would say, how does it get access to the health data of specific individuals? I don't know.
Yeah, I have a car. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the next city planning commission and I'm going to weigh in on the highway construction because I have a car and I drive all the time and it affects me. Ergo, I'm an expert, right? That's the thought process. I drive every day, so I should be able to talk about how the highways are constructed and where they're put, right? Because I drive. All right, we got a SWAT Fuel, a Warrior of the Week, kind of. I'm going to nominate a new Warrior of the Week this week. And, all that other good stuff today on Student of the Gun Radio.
Stand by for education, enlightenment, enjoyment, and entertainment.
He's not here to talk about your feelings. He's not here to say what you want to hear. He's here to say what needs to be said.
Ladies and gentlemen, and children of all ages, please welcome your host, the pimp hand of America, Professor Paul Markle.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for being here, for listening. We are all connected live via satellite in our various Student of the Gun studios. And Zach, what have you been working on lately? What is your primary task here lately?
Well, Jared, am I allowed to talk about my primary task?
I don't know what your primary task is.
The thing that doesn't have to do with Student of the Gun?
No.
Okay, no. I'll talk about that. My primary task around here has been, I don't know, it's doing fulfillment in radio.
Touching packages and making sure that you get them all out?
I don't understand what's going on here.
I don't know if I'm supposed to be saying something specific. I don't know what the toss here was.
Okay.
It was conversational, Zach. Jared, go ahead and...
I'm sorry.
My primary task, this past weekend was doing the home gym thing, which I talked about on the grad program. I talked a little bit about the lessons that I learned from the build. My other primary task, is that the question? What's my primary task? My primary task right now is recording radio.
Ladies and gentlemen, you see, when you're at home, and you listen to this, you're like, man, that seems easy. Anybody could do that. The truth is, anybody could not do this, and not for 10 years, that's for sure. No. The radio hasn't been up for 10 years. It's been up for 8.
7, 8.
8.
Has
Yeah.
been 8. Yeah.
The SOT Student of the Gun is celebrating its 10th anniversary this year.
Sweet.
Oh, sweet. Sweet. Yes, indeed. All right, Zach, go ahead and play that funky SWAT Fuel Warrior of the Week music. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Word of the week. And speaking of me grunting as I as I accomplish a press PR, listen to the Barbell Logic Online podcast, the Barbell Logic podcast. Listen to that if you have iTunes or whatever. You should be subscribing to it and you should be listening to it. But this last week, I did an update with Matt as to what's going on my journey, my road back. And Matt is he's going to release that. And he's also going to be re-releasing the original interviews we did about my plan, my strength plan and my fitness plan to not let cancer kill me. And it's kind of fortuitous because when I was recording with Matt, he said, well, how long's it been since you got the all clear? And the answer is exactly 1 year. Exactly 1 year.
Yep.
And I wasn't even thinking about it. I hadn't thought that anniversary was coming up. The one anniversary that I've been celebrating is July 15th, because July 15th was the day that I got back into the gym for the first time since my issues. And so I celebrated that. And we celebrated that with you guys on the radio. But the other one was September 11th. And of course, as an American, you remember September 11th in a somber fashion. But September 11th was the day that I was scheduled to go back in for a PET scan. If you guys don't know what that is, it's basically they put you in a machine. They stick contrast into you and they put you in a machine and they scan you from your scalp to your toenails to look for abnormalities. And basically they shoot you up with radioactive sugar.
You're all jacked up on Mountain Dew.
I was all exactly. You're like, didn't you just describe Mountain Dew? They shoot you up with radioactive glucose. And he's like, well, why is that a big deal? Because glucose is what feeds cancer cells. If you didn't know that, now you do. And it goes straight to them and it clings and attaches to them. So when they put you in the big machine, those areas light up, right? Anyway, so September 11th, I went in the morning. They shot me up with radioactive sugar. Then they scanned me, and then they said, go home and come back in 3 hours. And just marinate.
But I want to know now.
Just marinate on that for a while. Yeah, and that's the sick thing is because the technicians in the booth, while they're doing it, they're looking at that. They know. They've looked at thousands of people. They've seen thousands of tumors. So they know. But they're not going to say, they don't say nothing. They're like, thank you very much, Mr. Markle. Peace out. Come back later. So I came back later and the doctor said, everything's looking good. And I said, stop. No, that's not what I want to hear. I don't want to hear everything's looking good. You're in remission. I said, look me in the eye and say, you don't have cancer. And he laughed at me because apparently people don't talk to doctors like that. But apparently he hadn't spent a lot of time around Paul G. Markle. And G stands for gangster. So he's like, you don't have cancer. I said, that's the words I wanted to hear. So, I've been on the road back and I talked to Matt with Barbell Logic and he said, and he's going to do a little interview. So if that's something you guys are interested in, great. If you're not, well, I don't care. But if you want to get strong and you realize that, hey, now is the time, go to Barbell Logic and use the promo code SOTG, or we can drop the thing in there for you. All right, Warrior of the Week. I'm going to nominate a new Warrior of the Week, and the new Warrior of the Week is me.
I spoke with Dr. Dan yesterday.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, I actually got him on the horn and he's a busy dude, making sure all this stuff is still running. And I asked him, because he works in the emergency room. I said, "Have you treated any COVID patients?" He said, "Oh yeah, plenty." I said, "What's your opinion on the virus?" And he said, "Nah." What virus, essentially? And he said it's pretty underwhelming.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, what's the treatment?" And he said, vitamins and some other stuff. And he said, "Man, if I had a mountain of the SWAT Fuel 40 cal vitamins, that would be awesome." He's like, "But I can't get them." I'm like, "Yeah, that sucks."
Yeah.
But so yeah, he said that the SWAT Fuel 40 cal vitamins would definitely help you.
Yeah. If they could, well, they shut down the manufacturing plant because
Right, yeah.
it's not essential. All right. If you'd like to be the warrior of the week, the reason that I've nominated myself is because this week we do not have a call-in question. Apparently nobody had a question this week. But while you're listening to this, you come up with a question, Jared's going to remind you how you can be the warrior of the week.
Yep. Super easy. Call 844-207-7684. Ask a clear and concise question. And then if we do choose your question and you hear it played here on the radio, you're going to have to email us your info@studentofthegun.com, name, mailing address, phone number, and email.
All right. So the question from the warrior of the week is, what are you doing to prepare yourself, your family, and your neighborhood/community? And this is when, now, last week we had what? We had Labor Day, and I issued a challenge to you guys out there. I said, on Labor Day, I want you to take an hour out of your day. And I don't even think it would take an hour, but let's just say an hour, and go into your pantry, hurricane cupboard, whatever, and do a real serious, hardcore, no kidding inventory of your food supply. And it's not enough to say, well, whatever. You got to figure out calories, right? And I've done this. And the cool thing is, once you figure out the base calories, everything else is just a bonus, right? You say, oh, okay, well, yeah, I'm good. 2,000 calories per person per day for this household for X number of days, X number of months. Good. Everything on that is just gravy, right? Everything on that is just a bonus. If you don't have 6 months worth of food, and that's why you have to count calories. Because a lot of times, often you can look at a cupboard full of food and say, that's a lot. That's a lot. It seems like a lot until you do a reality check and you say, yeah, it seems like a lot, but my wife goes to the store once or twice a week, right? How many of you guys have those spouses that do that are constantly like, I got to grab a such and such today. I got to grab a such and such today. And, that's easy, or that's nice if it's convenient, if the stores are open and you're driving by and all that. The whole point of the inventory is, what if you can't go to the store? Or what if there are lines out the front door into the parking lot, or they're handing, numbers out or whatever.
That would never happen, though.
Yeah, that would never happen.
Stores are always going to be available all the time.
Yeah, and they're always going to be full. And yeah. My question to you is, say, well, what if the grocery store is open, but there is a line and they're limiting the number of people and they're limiting what you can buy? What are you going to do? Are you going to be a part of the lemming crowd? Are you going to be part of the refugee crowd and stand in line for 2 hours so you can buy one can of soup and one loaf of bread and one carton of eggs? Is that what how you want to spend your day? Or would you rather be good to go and just avoid it altogether? Say, well, all the lemmings are fighting over the last can of pork and beans, and I'm good. We're just going to stay away from that. Ladies and gentlemen, winter is coming to the United States of America, and you need to do a hard, no kidding look in the mirror. It drives me absolutely bonkers, Jared. I guess it's just Aesop told us grasshoppers and ants. Solomon told us, consider the ant the OCE sluggard. I mean, this has been going on for thousands of years. For thousands of years, leaders, philosophers, wise men have told you. Oh, I'm going to go ahead and establish something right now. Boys, as November comes and goes and we move into the winter time of the United States of America, anybody who shows up in our audience and starts derping about hoarders or saying, oh, derp, derp, hoarders and derp, derp, hoarding, that is an immediate disqualifier. I'm going to tell you why. First of all, it's socialist talk. It's brainwash talk. And it's also, would you boys agree with me that is what lazy, slovenly, unprepared douchebags say?
A lot of the time, yeah.
It's something that they're sad that they didn't get in on whatever it is that they're accusing hoarders of, and
yeah,
that's what it is.
It's weak, spineless, lazy talk. For years, dude, all during 18 and 19, what did I say? Hey, ammo's cheap as it's been. They're practically giving it away. Guns are cheap. Ammo's cheap. I mean, holy crap. They were giving away M&P shields for brand new ones for $299. They're back up to $429 now. The Canic pistols, the rifles. I mean, everything was priced to go. 9 mil practice ammo, and it was down less than 20. It was like 17, 18 cents a shot. 5.56 was in the 25 to 26 cents a shot. And I told everybody, buy it now. And the reason I'm kind of assed up right now is because the other day I posted something I said I did that live video, right? I did the winter is coming and what is the plan? And some jackhole, that's you, Marty, some jackhole jumped in and goes, sounds like there's a bunch of hoarders in this group.
Then leave.
Fornicate yourself. Bye. Get out.
If you don't want to be here,
Gone.
then leave.
That is weak, spineless crap talk. And and you say, well, just let those people stay. Maybe they'll learn something. Nope. They're not going to learn anything. They don't want to learn anything. They want to poison the group. And that's what those people do. They poison the group. They're like a cancer cell. Those people are like cancer cells. You don't let cancer cells stick around hoping that they will assimilate and become part of the healthy body. You're like, well, if we let these cancer cells stick around long enough and I eat lots of vitamins and get lots of sunshine, then the cancer cells will assimilate and become part of the healthy body, right? No, that's not what they do. So when you get these kind of people, and the reason I bring this up is in your neighborhood, in your community, in your sphere of influence, you are going to encounter these kinds of people. Poisonous, cancerous, what I will say is toxic individuals who aren't there to help. They're not there to contribute. They're not there to learn. They're doing the exact opposite. They're poisoning your group. They're poisoning the well. Broom them. You're like, yeah, but it's my brother-in-law. Doesn't matter. You're nice and cool. Go play somewhere else, because you're not going to play here because you're toxic. So when you're preparing yourself, you need to remove those toxins. You need to remove those toxic elements from because let me tell you, it's not going to make it any better. It's only going to make it worse.
That live stream wasn't in the Liberty Mastermind, right?
No. It was public.
Okay.
I was
just making sure, because I was going to say, if you guys want a group to go to that has no toxic people in it, then go to the Liberty Mastermind.
Yep. And now is actually a great time to go ahead and segue into the why are you guys doing the Patriot Fire Team videos and making them only available to the grad program?
I'll tell you what. The answer is because we know that the grad program members are dedicated to their craft, whatever it may be, and they're going to appreciate and use the information that we're distributing. He spent probably millions of dollars in 35, 40 years to gain this knowledge. So it's not something that we want to just distribute for free and have people complain about it. So what we're doing is it's got a small price tag attached to it. The video is going to drop tomorrow about leadership, and that's going to give you all the details. But essentially, you join the grad program for a $1 trial, and you'll get access to some of the videos. You won't be able to watch all of them in 1 month, but you get a $1 trial to get through some of the videos and see if you still want to actually continue. And if you don't, you only spent $1 on it. If you're not willing to spend $1, we don't want you watching the videos.
If you can't invest $1 in yourself, then I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah.
But yeah, we decided to eliminate to the greatest extent the toxic element.
Let me be clear though, real quick, before you go any further. I want to be clear that the current grad program members get it for you. Don't have to pay the $1 for the trial because you're already a member.
Right.
So just wanted to clarify that.
Oh yeah, if you're already a grad program member, you're good to go. Just sit back, relax, hit play, and watch the videos.
Yeah.
And of course, we're not taking away the other stuff. You still get the bonus hours on Thursday and Friday. You still get the book. You get all that stuff. So that's correct, right, Jared? Even if they sign up for $1, they still get the book? No, they don't get the book.
Unless they want to pay. I mean, if you pay for the shipping and handling, yes.
Okay.
You can get the book. But I'm just trying to keep it as the lowest barrier of entry. But we just want to make sure that if you're willing to pay $1, then you're a little bit more serious than the other people. And if you stay and you continue to be a member, then we know that you're part of the group. So
yes. So it's super simple. Just go to getsotg.com. Follow the instructions, sign up. Hopefully a lot of you guys watch we decided to do an introductory video, and the introductory video is not about guns and bullets and ammunitions and all that stuff. It's actually about leadership and I talk about leadership, and I also talk about some of the tools that, quite frankly, often get overlooked. Everybody wants to talk about blasters and holsters and armor and stuff like that. But very rarely do people talk about things like, well, if you're going to be a leader, you probably need to have a good pair of binoculars. If you're going to be a leader, you probably are going to need to write stuff down and keep track of stuff. What? I'm just going to write it on the side of my gun here, like Peter Griffin.
You know what I got in the mail yesterday? I got a battle board, and it's my first. I've used them before. Other people had them, but I never actually owned one. And so I went and I got one, and I got it in the mail, and I was like, man, this is higher quality than I remember. So,
who we need to get on board with us, and I don't know why we haven't. It's just one of those things. We need to get right in the rain on board with us.
Yeah, that's great products.
Yeah. So, all right, that is it for today's Warrior of the Week topic. And now Jared is going to thank the top contributors to the Student of the Gun Public Group.
Yep, Student of the Gun Public Group. If you open the show notes, you can get this. You can go directly to the group on Facebook if you're a Facebook user. If you're not, that's totally fine. You can go to the Student Lounge, which is our internal social media platform. You can even, you have your own wall. You have your own profile. You can post your own pictures. You can post text, share videos, whatever. So that's in the Student Lounge if you're not a Facebook user. And the way that you get that is to go to the Student Lounge. Which is go to studentofthegun.com and click the login button. It'll take you directly where you need to go. Now, these top contributors are directly from Facebook because Facebook makes it super easy for me to see this stuff. And we've got some new names this week. We've got number 10, Lynn Tworowski, who joined 4 years ago. Number 9 is Kevin Hammond. What's up, my friend? He joined 3 years ago. He's been in the group. John Smith is number 8. Jeremiah Mason, 7. Number 6 is Daniel Larson. Number 5 is Alan Wilson. 4 is Brandon Schultz. 3 is Rick Umberger. 2 is JD Guthrie, who actually is a different person. Number 1 is still Trent Wood. So JD Guthrie, you're about halfway there. You did 50% of the work to get up to number 1. You've got to knock Trent out of this thing.
Hey, something that we just started, and we're going to have to say it a bunch of times before everybody realizes it. One of the big benefits of being in the grad program is that you get access to the Liberty Mastermind private group on Facebook. And you say, fornicate Facebook. Well, here's the deal. It's a private group, and we're using this to communicate with each other. And something that Jared figured out this week was that in the Liberty Mastermind private group, there is this thing called units. And what you can do as the creator is you can specify deliberately specify topics. So right now, if you're in the Liberty Mastermind group, and as soon as you join the grad program, you can request permission to enter, and our moderators will let you in. You can go to units, click it, and unit 1 is PFT equipment guide, do it yourself. Our good friend, I want to say his name right.
It's Matthew Fry.
Matthew Fry. Matthew Fry is a welder extraordinaire, and so he posted a bunch of pictures about one of the projects he did and some how-tos and some hints. Then Unit 2 is homesteading and gardening projects. If you guys are looking for advice or you want to share advice, if you guys are green thumb dudes, we want you sharing with your fellow grad program members.
Yep.
If you've got any tips, you're like, hey, man, I got some tips.
I ain't got any tips.
Got any tips? Like, I got
like julienne salad.
Yeah, like julienne salad. I'm trying to sip up my game. One of the tips I did is I put in there rareseeds.com. And I just started using some seeds from rareseeds.com. These are heirloom seeds, which means
sprouted super fast.
Yeah. And then the other one, Jared started home gym how-tos and how to build a weightlifting platform. So the reason that you say, well, big deal, Paul, just throw them in there as posts. What do we know about posts on Facebook? After a day, after 24 hours, they're buried, right?
Yeah.
So if you're looking for a specific topic, just go to the unit and click on it, and it's easy to find. And I'm really grateful for this option, because that gives you guys in the grad program and in the Liberty Mastermind, that gives you guys an opportunity to learn from each other. And we are going to be putting, in addition to in the student lounge, the Patriot Fire Team videos in here.
Yeah. And that's something that actually is, I really appreciate the functionality in the Facebook group, because anybody can add to the topic. So if you have knowledge that you want to share, you can go to the topic and create a post. Inside the student lounge, where in the grad program, there we have the ability to put courses in, but we actually have to structure the course in the student lounge. So you could send us the information, we could put it in there, but it's much easier to just feed the educational process if you can actually put the stuff in there yourself. So if you're a grad program member and you're in the Liberty Mastermind, go to the units section, pick a topic that you actually know about, and share some information, because we highly recommend that you guys learn from each other. That's what the group is for.
A lot of you guys out there have some skills.
Yep.
You got some talents, and you got some tips. So share them with your fellow grad program members, and we're going to, raise the tide, and everybody's going to benefit from that. And the fact of the matter is, not everyone can't do everything, right? And some people are better at other things. And so this is a fantastic opportunity for the grad program. And that is why we're funneling Patriot Fire Team people into the grad program, so that you can communicate with each other.
Yep.
And so if you're not taking advantage of that, you really should, because it costs you nothing. And dude, I'm impressed. See, that's a great thing about that's why we've gated this. That's why it's not in the public group. Because if we put it in the public group, it would be toxic instantly, and there would just be a bunch of bull crap there. So we put it in the gated group, where you have to actually go through an entry process. We eliminate the douchebags, and we get good people. And I'm impressed. I'm impressed by some of the workarounds and the tips and so forth. So keep it up. That's my advice to you guys. Keep it up. All right. Duracoat, why? I'm going to tell you why. Because life is too short
to have an ugly gun.
To have an ugly gun. Stop having an ugly gun. You don't need to. Crossbreed holsters, and I go to DuracoatFirearmFinishes.com. Crossbreed holsters wants you to be dangerous on demand. How do you do that? You go to crossbreedholsters.com, you use the promo code SOTG18, and boom, you actually carry your gun all the time. It's amazing.
I went to my holster bin yesterday, and I was looking for a holster for the Canik, the TP9 SA, the original, and because I wanted to put it somewhere. And I opened the bin, and I realized that Jared is sad because he didn't have a holster, an aftermarket holster for the SA. Apparently, I never carried the SA. I know I did, didn't I?
I know.
I did, because it's got the freaking scuffs on it from the holster marks. So I don't know what the heck I did with that holster, but I went to my holster bin and I was
your tan say
okay, yeah, I did then. So I got to find it. Must be somewhere lost in the movie.
I know you had one because I know you carried it. We were carrying them at the same time. While I was carrying my Duracoated digital green one, you were carrying the tan one.
Yeah.
I tell you what, that digital green SA has just a fantastic trigger in it. It's amazing how good that trigger feels. That gun is a $349 gun, and it's got a trigger that people pay $300 to have installed. You know, it just is. So check those guys out at Crossbreed Holsters. Use the promo code, save yourself some money, and get an upgrade with a double D.
2 D's for a double dose.
You know what's funny, Jared? You remember the president of the United States in
yeah.
You know who that was? It was Terry Crews.
Yeah, it was Terry Crews.
In the movie Idiocracy, Terry Crews was the president. And remember how he called the meeting to order?
Ah, man, I don't remember.
He picked up a saw and fired a half a belt into the sky.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Well, Terry Crews is on that show, Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
Yeah.
And I've been looking for a show to watch. And so I started watching that. And Terry Crews he is a national treasure. He really is. Would you agree with me? Is that a fair assessment?
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, he's a funny dude.
Terry Crews is a funny dude. All right. Brownells, what do they got? They don't have everything because, quite frankly, you guys are buying them out. You're running them out of primers. You're running them out of ammo. You're running them out of shotguns. But they still have some stuff. And how do you know what's in stock? Sign up for the Brownells newsletter, and they send me a notification, and I open it, and then it tells me exactly. It's almost like science. So go to brownells.com, sign up for the newsletter. When you're reading your coffee in the morning, drink your notification.
Drink your notification.
Strike that. Reverse it. When you're drinking your coffee, read your notifications, and you'll know what they've got in stock. Because quite frankly, the way the world is right now, they will get something in stock. They will send out a notification. 24 hours later, it's sold out. So if there's crap you're looking for, you need to get in there. And one thing they do have on most of their out of stock items is the notify me thing. And you say, it's bull crap. I want it now. Okay. But if I was you and I wanted that thing and it said notify me, I would just go ahead and click that. Sign up for the newsletter, click the notify me. And as soon as it's in stock, bing, you'll get a notification and it'll say, would you like to buy this or not? And there you go. Because that is the world that we're currently living in today. Jared, I saw someone in one of the groups that I got invited to, and I didn't uninvite myself, so I'm like, screw it. Like, hey, I'm thinking of buying a new handgun. What do you guys think I should buy? What should I get? He said, I'm thinking of getting a handgun. What should I get? And I said, a time machine. Because what have you been doing? Hello.
That's actually something that
McFly.
That Brownells has done is for all the new shooters, the new people that have joined the industry. They made this daily defense series. It's on brownells.com. You can go there right now. There's 20 videos and I'm looking at it. It's got, there's getting started for universal safety or for 4 rules of firearm safety. Is owning a gun right for you? The importance of situational awareness, why you need a home defense plan, and it just goes up. It builds on itself. So if you're new, then you can start at the beginning, at the getting started. If you're not new and you think you know what you're doing, then you can start at number 7 or 8 or whatever.
Yeah, they're good people. Bottom line, the people at Brownells are good Americans. That's it. They're faithful Americans. It's a family-owned business, and they're going to treat you right. So just take advantage of everything they have to offer. All right, that brings us right up to me being quiet and new listeners paying attention to what Zach's going to play now.
Attention, new listeners. We produced a complimentary online training course called 7 Training Tips That Could Save Your Life. Get instant access by joining the Student Lounge for free at studentofthegun.com. Do you watch Student of the Gun TV, read the blog, and follow us on Facebook? If you answered no to any of these questions, you are wrong, but you can easily fix yourself. Go to studentofthegun.com to find everything SOTG.
All right. The communist propaganda organ, also known as Newsweek, they're at it again. Yes, indeed. They're at it again. And they're sowing fear in the hearts of men, because that's how we control the people, is with fear. We get people to be afraid, constantly afraid. And then the government swoops in and says, I know you're afraid, but if you just give us all the control over your lives, we'll make it better. Will you really? Or not? All right, Jared, this story is from September 8th, 2020, and it's titled, Sturgis Motorcycle Rally Linked to More Than... Hang on a second. Okay. Sturgis Motorcycle Rally linked to more than 260,000 coronavirus cases, comma, economists estimate. All right, I'm curious. Jared, will you please help me out here?
Yep. It says the Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in South Dakota has been linked to more than 260,000 coronavirus cases in the U.S., according to a recent study by a group of economists. The rally, which occurred between August 7th and August 16th, drew an estimated 462,182 people from around the country. Is that a normal number, or are there usually more?
I have no idea.
Will you Google,
I don't usually.
Zach or Dad, will you Google Sturgis attendance for the last few years?
On it.
Local news reports suggest that in addition to the large crowds, there was little mask wearing and social distancing among attendees, causing health experts to fear it would become a COVID-19 super spreader event. In a report published by the IZA Institute of Labor Economics in Bonn, Germany.
Okay, hang on a second. Let's go ahead and in a report published by the Institute of Bonn, Germany.
Germany's the one that's doing a lot of these
the socialists. Oh, they're the ones that are tracking.
They're doing a lot of the companies that have these, that produce these products, are the ones that are tracking. But the Germany is the ones that is doing these research projects for the big events.
Okay.
Did you see that they did the test concert or whatever it was?
No.
Yeah, they did a whole thing. Okay, so in a report published by these people, 4 economists used anonymized cell phone data, local health records, and data from U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention to conclude that an estimated 266,796 coronavirus cases could be attributed to the rally.
All right, so let's go ahead and put a exclamation point underneath that, Jared. So here's, what do we know about American news consumers, Jared?
They read the title.
They read the title.
So they're going to think that these cases were absolutely 100% linked to the rally, but they're actually not.
What? So the pro-mask, pro-Democrat, scared little chicken littles living, in their basements, driving around in their cars with masks on like imbeciles. They're gonna say, "Look, see, all those mean." And you know who was at the rally? It wasn't BLM, Antifa, Joe Biden voters. Okay, it was Republican, freedom-loving, hardcore MFers, right? Did you catch that little video clip where like a dozen Antifas tried to disrupt the rally?
No.
Yeah, I saw a YouTube clip of it. And
did they do a better or worse job than a Buffalo?
They did a worse job. So maybe 10, 12 Antifa douchebags showed up with protest signs, and the local police immediately surrounded them and safely escorted them away.
It's like, yeah, you guys should not be here.
Yeah. they're like, yeah, we have a right to pray. It's like, and the cops are like, hey, we're saving you from a serious butt whipping. How's that? So Newsweek, and Jared, do you think that Newsweek absolutely understands that by using this inflammatory title that they're going to convince the weak people that these mean, evil, motorcycle riding, Trump voting people are spread a 500,000, 250,000 cases?
Yeah,
they know that.
It's deliberate. They
know that the chances of people actually reading and getting all the way down and saying
all the way down 4 paragraphs.
Yeah, could.
Jeez.
It could.
Yeah, and it's funny because our side of the coin does the same thing. People read titles that are like, "Oh, masks don't work," or whatever, mask fucking blah blah blah.
Zach,
and
write the time down.
Sorry, I said the F word. And they read the title and then they go on and they say they distribute that information to their friends and family based upon the title, and it's absolute truth. And it's the same dang thing. So stop doing it.
Oh.
Anyway, so the rally represents a situation. Zach, did you write the time down for that?
Yes. By the way,
sorry.
I've got the numbers if you care.
Okay. Yeah. The rally numbers. Go ahead.
So, and we got 2 different numbers because there's official attendance and then S.traffic count. So 2017, S.traffic count was between 376 and 469,000 with official attendance of 480,000.
Okay.
2018 had an S.dot of 505,000 with no official attendance. 2019 had a 499,000 traffic count and a 490,000 official attendance. And according to this, 2020 has a S.dot count of 462,000 with an official attendance of whatever this article says.
Okay. So it's actually not that far off.
Yeah, it's not that far. I wasn't sure. For some reason, I thought Sturgis was like millions of people.
No, I mean, we think about it. We've been through there. That's a small community.
Yeah, that's what I was like. Dang, I wonder.
The idea of an influx of 400,000 people is crazy.
That one event supports a lot of those local businesses for the entire year.
Oh yeah. They and that was when we went through there. Okay. The actual daily population of Sturgis is 7,000 people.
Jeez.
So the city only actually has 7,000 people. Now you say, well, then how do they house all them? Because they don't all stay in Sturgis.
I would say they spread it out.
Yeah. Well, where are our good friends at Black Hills? Rapid City.
Yep.
Yeah, Rapid City population is actually 75,000. A whopping 75,000.
Oh, that's smaller than I thought.
So
it says this rally represents a situation where many quote unquote worst case scenarios for a super spreader event occurred simultaneously, creating an environment in which a single mass gathering generated a huge number of coronavirus cases, according to the report.
Of course, all of this is speculation because it just happened. This just happened a couple of weeks ago. They don't have actual real numbers, but we're going to go ahead and speculate. Now, what should people be primarily concerned about, or what is my primary concern, Jared? And this is something we've been talking about for a long time. How are they getting these numbers? Through what? Through actual physical head counts?
No, it's the anonymized cell phone data that
it's the tracking people with their cell phones. And you're like, well, if you're going to carry a phone, then you basically agree to having, third-party groups tracking your every movement and providing that data to whomever requests it. That is some hardcore 1984 crap right there. Yeah, so anyone who wants to request it can request this tracking information. about you. Is that how you want to live, America? Is that how the United States of America as a representative republic is supposed to be?
It's funny.
People being tracked constantly and monitored, and then we create these scenarios based on tracking info.
Yeah, it's funny because ever since applications were created, this has been happening.
Mhm.
When you give your location data to an application, you're giving it to the people that own the application, and then they can do whatever they want with it.
Yeah.
And not until 2020 has it been people actually are like, hey, we should maybe pay attention to this.
Yeah, we should be paying
It's
attention.
like we've been doing this for years and years and years, but all of a sudden, it's funny.
Well, we've basically been checked out. It's kind of like, how did the country end up in the situation it's in? Because we were all fat and happy and comfortable and checked out, and then we realized, hey, not everyone in this country is pro-liberty. Not everyone in this country is on board with all this individual liberty stuff. Matter of fact, a lot of them are not, and they're working actively to try and destroy that. But nothing. So another fear campaign. Of course, you know what are they not talking about, Jared? What are we not talking about anymore? We're not talking about deaths. They've dropped the CV deaths thing because the numbers, when they actually have to come up with real numbers, they're not that impressive or scary. So instead, what do? Diagnose cases. And then if you don't have diagnosed cases, what do? You speculate. You're like, well, there aren't actually 250,000 new cases. There's no indication that that's the fact, but it could be based upon what the economists in Germany are saying. So what you're saying is I'm supposed to be all ginned up, all scared, all terrified, super angry at these selfish people. And that's what this is all about. Do not question me. This is all about dividing the people. This is all about getting the scared little ninnies angry. How dare you? And the question is, Jared, these people in Sturgis, were they taken there against their will?
Oh no, they chose to go.
You mean they voluntarily went to Sturgis knowing
they wanted to enjoy themselves, but we can't do that.
That's selfish. Well, but then they go back to their homes and what? If you're afraid, stay in your house. Wear your mask while you're driving, okay, and stay in your house. So because you're afraid and you've bought into the government fear campaign, you think you should be allowed to control what your neighbors do. You mean like socialism? Like communism? Like a totalitarian state? Yeah, exactly like that. And ladies and gentlemen, you've got to be aware of this. This is a 100% deliberate scare tactic fostered by Newsweek. This whole entire story was created to divide the country, to continue to make people scared, and to continue to make the scared people angry at the people who aren't scared. That's all it is. There's no actual hardcore facts in here. Well, could be, potentially. Could be and potentially. That means this is a bullcrap story. But it's out there, and it was done on purpose, and you need to pay attention to this. This is not an accident. It didn't happen, it's not like they don't know what they're doing. Every single word of every single story that comes from a supposed news outlet like this is 100% deliberate, and they know what they're doing. And you need to know what they're doing as well, so you can combat it. You can fight against it. All right. We're going to go on Wednesday. We're going to be back on Wednesday. The left, we have evidence, actual evidence, that the left, communist, socialist, authoritarians, whatever you want to call them, progressives, they want a civil war in the United States. They're fomenting it. They're preparing for it. We have documentation. There actually have been several articles written by people pointing out the reality of that. And my question to you is, are you ready? Are you ready? We're going to talk about that and more on Wednesday. So from me to you at this moment in time, I want you to remember that you're a beginner once.
You're a student for life.
We appreciate your reviews. If you haven't left a review or updated yours recently, head on over to Facebook, iTunes, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, or your favorite podcast player to voice your opinion. Don't forget to join us at the Student Lounge, a place for like-minded individuals to learn, connect, and support each other. No chicanery will be tolerated. Remember to check studentofthegun.com daily for new, free content and giveaways. Watch, listen, read, shop, and connect at studentofthegun.com. Are you a social butterfly? Connect with us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter for new content each and every day at Student of the Gun. Watch Student of the Gun TV and videos from our trusted partners on Roku, Apple TV, Amazon Fire TV, Chromecast, and even AirPlay. Go to studentofthegun.com for direct links, and remember, you're a beginner once, a student for life.